Welcome back to Connie Bear Airsoft's channel, and today I'm going to be presenting about my casting couch. No, jokes aside, it's about these. So this is a box for the Hephaestus Groza, HTs-14 Groza. The Groza itself, it's with Hephaestus right now because this Groza with serial 337, it just needs some refit, but that's that. And actually I have with me Groza with serial 214, and basically the version 1 Grozas were made back in 2014. They're called V1. These were based off the AKS-74U, and Hephaestus basically added on the carry handle, the handguard, front bits, modified the dust cover a bit, butt pad, yada yada. Otherwise, everything else is still a GHK AK system, and they retail for around $700 US for both batches of the Hephaestus Groza. So in total, they're around 1,000, under 1,000 of these in circulation. So it's a very, very rare piece. And how have they aged? Have they aged well? Well, I'd say they've aged very well, because one of these Grozas fetch for at least 1,200 US dollars at the very least for a good condition Groza. And why does it fetch such a good value? Well, because between 2014 and 2017 and 2018, I'd say are GHK's golden years. So Hephaestus made these Grozas with the golden years AK. They didn't exhibit any of the new QC issues seen in post-2019 receivers, which you had a borked front trunnion, and you basically can't fix it because the trunnion is misaligned so badly and the nozzle basically collides with the hop unit on the top. And there's no real way of fixing this unless you're able to unrivet the front trunnion and somehow re-tap the threads on the front trunnion for the outer barrel so that it's straight. But people don't have the tooling, don't have the materials to do it themselves because it's steel block. No one has the designs. GHK and the LCT, SEMA, ENL, the front trunnion design is all different, so they're not interchangeable. It's a part that is exclusive to GHK, so it's not available as aftermarket part. The only way you can really fix one of these GHKs if they're borked is that if you have one of those Radio Fighter MB47 receivers, which was a limited run product as well. So good luck with that. But yeah. So let's actually talk about the Groza itself, because how many versions of Grozas there were? There are actually three versions of these Grozas. There were two production versions, which is this 2014 V1 Groza. These Grozas have a serial number printed on the left side of the handguard, and they came with their serialized card if you still have it. So for this 214, the card, as I'll get it right now, is this. See that serial number printed on there, 214. 214 is a number, and this receiver is 214. So the unique thing about the V1 Grozas is that they all had a serial number, or should have a serial number printed on them, with a matched serial card like this. And that's what makes them quite unique compared to the version 2s. And also, the version 1 has a taller carrying handle relative to the version 2. So I don't know if you can see this, but a good way of showing this is basically this. So this is a version 2 Groza box, and if that pop that open, you'd see that the version 2 Groza has a foam cutout, including a cutout for the 9x39 mag. And what you'll know is that if you try to take a version 1 Groza, like this one, pop it in, it doesn't fit because, well, sling aside, doesn't fit because, as I said, the carry handle is taller than the version 2 Groza. So Hephaestus revised the design for the version 2 Groza, according to them, is more faithful to original, even though it's still not quite there, because some purists have said that the real Groza has a plastic handguard, and the bottom trigger assembly is a modular piece. Right now, this is a single block, and so it's not modular, and every time you want to disassemble the trigger, you have to undo the entire trigger guard and unlink the trigger bar to get to it, which is quite tedious, which you shouldn't have to do shouldn't do much of anyways. And other more minute differences is that version 1 Groza, it has a pineapple knurl on the rear sight knob. So the knurling on this is predominantly a criss-cut pineapple knurl, whereas the V2 Groza, you can see this, the knurling is straight. Now, some of these V2 Grozas also had pineapple knurling, from what I'm told. So I suspect it's because the tooling in the factory actually changed sometime during production, and so that's why you see there's two types of knurling on the rear sight knob drum itself, but not on the V1s. The V1s always came with a criss-cut pineapple knurl. Second of all, there's also a third version of a Groza, which I do not currently have, is that the pre-production Groza. The pre-production Grozas were V1s. In the essence, they're V1s, but if you have one, you'll notice that the rear side drum is slightly elongated. For a production version, Hephaestus made this flush so that there is it's shorter. And for the non-production version, the pre-production version, I believe they had a silver trigger bar, whereas the trigger bar in the production version, they're all black. They're coated and they're black in color. Maybe you can see that in here, but yeah. So the trigger bar is black. Next. Now moving on to accessories. Well, so we know that there's around 1,000 of these Grozas in circulation, which I have four with me right now. 2 of them I've sent off to the States, but there weren't enough accessories to go around with them, and that's what's driving up their value. So some of the most sought after accessories, well, I'm sorry, the least sought after, which is this can. This is an aluminum can, mock suppressor. You open it up, it is long enough to accommodate a Marui tracer, or a modern tracer would be the Ace-Tech 2000, the original Ace-Tech, no, sorry, the Ace-Tech 1000. This can fit an entire Ace-Tech 1000 in it, if you're ever going to run CQB with tracers, but that's pretty noisy. But so this is a very common accessory that's purchased, that many owners purchase, because it was relatively inexpensive, and also it just gives it a little bit better balance on the front. So if I took the thread protector off, slide this on, there we go. It's Groza, and it's still rear heavy because the Groza is a steel receiver. But alright, and then the next part is one of these optic rails. So if you want to game your Groza at all, there's no way of mounting an optic rail unless you get rid of the carry handle and install a rail gas tube, which ruins the aesthetic because the point of Groza is a bullpup. It has a carrying handle. So if you were lucky enough to get one of these before they sold out, it allows you to mount a red dot, or in my case, I have the LPVO. And then the next accessory, which is the gas tube charging handle. Let's see here. So it allows you to charge the BCG from the left side. Although this is not a kosher part, the real Groza doesn't have this part, obviously. So it's not exactly as well sought after, but it's still nevertheless quite rare. And then next you have these magazines themselves. The 9x3 9mm magazines, these were only produced since the 2017 Groza. The original Groza, as you can see from the box, they came with the original 545 magazine. So they didn't have the magazine back then, and to even go to the skirmish your gun, yeah, there's like 3 or 4 of these magazines. There just weren't enough to go around. So one of these mags fetch upwards of $100 if you find them in such a good condition as this one, because this has no weathering at all. It wasn't taken outdoors. It was not fielded, so there's no rust. It still has a matte finish to it. There's minimal wear on the lug, just a bit of wear right there, but this is why it's a brand new magazine. Then next we have this accessory, the foregrip. Not many of these went around. Basically, if you don't have a can and you don't like the fact that it's rear heavy, so having a charging handle allows you to grip the gun and kind of just drive it back down. It's not a great looker, but it is quite a good accessory, which there weren't enough to go around as well. And unfortunately, this is the only one I have, so it's mine. Still trying to find more to go with these additional Grozas. And the most uncommon of all accessories is this can. This is a steel mock suppressor. It is a full kilogram heavier than the aluminum one. And this steel suppressor is actually the one that's produced first. But then Hephaestus realized that people don't game with such a freaking heavy suppressor. Be it a long outdoor session, it's just gonna wear you down, and it's unwieldy if you try to run in CQB, even with the tracer unit. So I guess they kind of just gave up on this. But one of these, if you can still find them, it'll run up to $250. It's one heavy mofo. You could probably kill someone with this. Yeah, that's it for the accessories. And here I have a V1 Groza with a different serial number, and I'm just going to show you. So this is what it actually originally came in, the V1 Grozas. So there's a 545 magazine in here. The serial number card is stuck right here. Groza is just zip tied down here, and then there's a manual as well. And yeah, so this one's gonna find itself a new owner in the States very soon. You see it. You guys in the States will see it. Serial number 272. Another pristine condition Groza. Yep. So this is what they originally came with, and between a 2017 and 2014 Groza, which holds value more, well, I'd say they both have good value, because the unique thing about the V1 Grozas is that they have a serial number. At least the production ones do. They have a serial number to uniquely identify them, and there's this unique card, which the Grozas don't really, well, the V2 Grozas don't come with. But either way, good collector's value. Admittedly, I know they sell for disgusting prices, but they are what they are. They are the holy grail of GHK AKs. You can't buy them anymore. Hephaestus might have plans for a third run down the line, but they're bogged down with all of the projects they have right now, including the project that shall not be named. Won't talk about that, but until that comes out, we're not even gonna hope for a third run of these babies, these Grozas. And that's it. So thank you for watching, and if you're interested in buying one of these, well, they're on sale. If you know where to look, just don't sell your kidneys, don't sell your kids. I'm not taking them for payment. I don't want trouble on my hands. But yeah, stay safe. Liat.